All right, what's going on, guys? Now, as you know, and maybe some of you don't know, but I do live in the state of Georgia. I live in the Metro Atlanta area, and today is January the 6th. So it's January the 6th, and we just had those runoffs for the Senate. Excuse me. Now, the reason why this was so important was because the Democrats have already had control. They already have control over the presidency. Seems like Joe Biden is going to be president, and they've already had control over the House. And it seems like that they are going to have control over the Senate because you had Raphael Warnock and Jon Ossoff, who are Democrats, who have gone up against, I think her name is Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue. Now, Warnock has already just defeated Kelly Loeffler and Jon Ossoff. It looks like right now, as I speak, I mean, it hasn't been called yet, but he has a slight lead over David Perdue for the Senate seats here in Georgia. And so now it seems like that the Democrats are going to control the presidency, the House, and they're also going to control the Senate as well. Now, what that means is for those who are not really into politics, who's kind of ignorant to some of these things. I'm not a person who completely understands the full realm of politics, but I know a little bit about politics, but when it comes to this topic, I understand how it works. But the reason why this is so significant is because if the Democrats, and even if this was Republicans, right? If the Democrats get the presidency, the House, and the Senate, that means that whenever a bill is ready to be passed, let's just say if they decide that they want to pass a certain law, okay? Let's just say we're just like, man, that is a crazy law. If the president comes out, or Joe Biden and Kamala Harris say that, yo, we need to amend a law, or we need to pass a certain law or a certain bill, that means that if they send it through the House, if majority of the people that are in the House are Republican, are Democrat, then if they vote yes, if majority of the people in the House vote yes, which are basically Democrat at this point, because they have a Democratic president and they vote yes, they'll say, then they have to wait for the Senate. And if the Senate is mostly Democrat, then it doesn't matter how many Republicans vote no to that bill, it's going to get passed because they're going to have the majority. So if all Democrats on both sides, House and Senate says, hey, we need to pass this, and every Republican vote no, it's still going to get passed because they hold the majority in the Senate and they hold the majority in the House. So that's why a lot of people are kind of like, scared and, upset, and they're like, man, we're going to be turned into a socialist country, and things are just going to be so bad for us and all of that. And I'm going to say that these are interesting times that we're living in, you know. And maybe about a couple of months ago, probably around election time, I was a little concerned. I was like, man, like what's going to happen? If all of these Democrats control the entire United States, like what is this going to be like? Because we've seen all of the crazy stuff that they've been doing. I'll probably say over the past 10 years, even at the end of Obama's term and during the middle of his term, like there's been a lot of crazy stuff going on. And we're just like the Democrats that were back in during the time of Obama. It just seems like that we're kind of like, well, maybe we should have some of those people back in power, because like some of these Democrats who've picked up seats and picked up positions of power in politics, seems like they're a little bit more radical than those Democrats who were under the Obama administration. So a lot of people are concerned, you know. And like I said, I was concerned, but I'm not. And I'm not anymore because I have been, it's like the Lord has been leading me and guiding me to get more into his word. You know what I'm saying? I think that what he's done is that he's kind of been like, you know what, Alston, you're being too distracted by what's going on, the politics, the world, all this stuff that you can't change. You know what I'm saying? And you need to focus more on me. And I feel that that's what God has been speaking to me. I ain't saying that that's what He has been speaking to me. I'm just saying that I just felt that He's been pulling me back to focus more on Him. That's why you guys are seeing a little bit more content from me. And I've just been trying to devote more time into this YouTube ministry and stuff. And just listening to some of these other YouTubers, man. Guys like Alan Park from the Beat, shout out to him. When I look at guys like Todd Frill of Wretched Radio, also shout out to him. G. Craig Lewis of EX Ministries, check him out. Like that. To be honest, man, I really like G. Craig Lewis. You know what I'm saying? Because he is. I've been following him for maybe the past 8 or 9 years now, and that guy he's been pretty solid. So I have fallen away from his content a little bit because he didn't really put too much on YouTube. But now it seems like he's cranking up and he's putting, a lot of videos back on YouTube and stuff like that. So I've been watching this content and he's been preaching some stuff. He's been preaching some real words, man. And it's like the Lord has just been putting these people more and more in my path, and He's been speaking to me through these people to get me back to get me back focused on Him. I remember when George W. Bush, when he got elected, I thought back then, oh, it's gonna be the end of the world and X, Y, and Z, and I made it through. God kept me through that, you know. And I ain't gonna lie, when Obama got elected, his first term, I was excited. I was like, man, we got us a black president, man, things are about to change. And maybe 2 years after that, things started happening, the decline of the economy. Jobs was scarce. And I mean, money was just really, really tight. I went through a lot during those years. You know what I'm saying? I'll probably say from 2012 to 2015, man, I went through a lot. Just all types of crazy stuff. And the Lord brought me out of that. He brought me out of that, and then Trump came in, and he's done this 4 years. He's getting ready to go out. Not Obama. Joe Biden is getting ready to be president. And I believe that God is still going, he's still faithful, man. He's still faithful. He's still going to bring me through this. And that's why I can make this video with a smile on my face, because the only thing that matters is Him. And the Lord He's going to be true to His promise. And He's still going to establish that new kingdom, that new heaven, that new earth, where there isn't going to be any more tears that's going to be shed. There isn't going to be any more pain and suffering like, Revelation, the end of Revelation in chapters 21 and 22 talks about. It's going to wipe every tear from our faces. There isn't going to be any more death, famine, COVID-19, all of this stuff. We're going to be in a new kingdom on a new earth. And that's what Christ has went back to heaven to do, to prepare a table for us. You see what I'm saying? And if you're not a Christian and you're watching this video up until this point, today is the day to submit yourself to Christ. You've been hearing about this all your life, and for some reason you've been drawn to Christian content, and it's not a mistake. It's not a mistake. Even those who are Christian, and you may be watching my video for the first time, and you've been raised up Christian, this is the Lord's way of using me to reach out to you. This is by providence. This ain't this, you know, you haven't ran up on my videos, or you haven't ran up on uh some of the other Christian content around you by accident. All this is by God's providence, you know. And I mean, I'm no one special. You know, God is just using me, just like he used Mary, you know, to bring about the birth of Christ, and he used Joseph to raise him, and he used, you know, John the Baptist and Paul the Apostle. I'm just a vessel just like these guys, you know. And these guys are just vessels, just like everyone else that God has used, you know, all the prophets, to carry out his will for his glory. And God is going to be glorified in these times. He really is. God is going to be glorified no matter what happens. And I'm not here to tell you that everything's going to get better and, oh, don't worry about that. Some of this stuff is probably going to get worse. You know, I'm making this video now, and I can't imagine losing any of my family members, you know, especially like my wife or my kids or anything like that. I mean, who knows? This is the beginning of 2021. You know, no telling what's going to happen. You know, they can lose me. You know, I can lose all of them, but it'll be by God's grace and God's providence, because I got something else to look forward to, you know, and that's his return and his kingdom. So, you know, as I close this video, you guys don't let all of this political stuff and stuff that's going on in the world, don't let that stuff get you down, man. You know, what's gonna happen is gonna happen. And God is not sitting up in heaven waiting to see what's gonna be the outcome. He's already ordained it. He's allowed a lot of this stuff to happen. And by his providence, he's allowed Joe Biden into the presidency, and he's allowed the Democrats to take over our federal government. God is not up there saying, "Oh man, I was really hoping that, you know, the Republicans could have held on to the seats of the Senate so the American government could have a chance." No, no, no. He's already ordained and orchestrated this, and maybe he's done it to wake some of us up to say, "Hey, some of y'all been getting a little too far from the weeds with all of this political stuff. Some of y'all been becoming Trumpites. You've been wearing MAGA hats, and you know, y'all been going to church only talking about political stuff, and instead of really discussing my word." So maybe this is a wake-up call. You know, maybe this is a wake-up call. But anyway, guys, that's enough of what I gotta say. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. You know, do you think that, hey, Alton, we really need to be concerned about what's going on politically? You know, I hear what you're saying about the Bible, but yo, this is something that is unprecedented, and we have to make sure that we continue to try to fight for our rights and fight for the Constitution and fight for our political stances on these issues? Or do you just simply believe that, hey, no matter what we do, God is providential, he's sovereign, and yeah, of course, you know, we just don't sit back and just wait for something to happen. You know, we still do what we have to do, and we still have to fight the good fight, no matter what front that we're fighting it on. But at the end, we can't walk around here being worried and grumbling. We just, because we already know what the outcome is, you know. But anyway, as always, like this video, comment, rate it, share it, subscribe, hit that notifications bell. Make sure that you select all, so every time I upload a video, you'll get a notification, and you'll get a notification 30 minutes before I go live and at the time that I go live. And you guys have a blessed day.